Hello again, and welcome back to Compton's Shenanigans, where I'm just an everyday guy doing everyday things. And today, we have a buddy's Predator 212 Harbor Freight generator. Now, he said that the last power outage he was in, he couldn't get it to start. He went out and bought a new one, but he still wanted this one fixed. Being that he's seen the other videos I've shot about fixing small engines, even though, it is what it is. He trusts me enough to fix it, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through why it won't start. We're going to start with the spark test and compression. And you see this wire hanging out of the front. I went ahead and got a piece of coat hanger and bent it so that it goes into the choke cable, which was previously busted on this. So that should help us get started. So let's dive into it. Okay, so we're going to start with the 3 reasons why an engine won't start. Well, there's 4 really. There's, at least in modern engines, there's spark, compression, fuel and air. But on more modern engines like this, there's also a bunch of safety cutoff switches, and there's probably an oil level switch where if the oil's low, it won't run, and if it won't run, it won't start. There might be a fuel cutoff switch somewhere. I mean, there might be a million reasons why, a more modern engine wouldn't start. But we're just going to go through the basics. And if it is a healthy Predator motor, then you guys are going to see what specs are on here. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the spark plug and fixing this choke cable like I did. I'll zip tie that up here in a minute, but fixing this choke cable like I did is probably going to get us to start. But I wanted to check the spark plug, and because he probably pulled this thing half a dozen times or a million times trying to get it started. So that plug is probably fouled up. So we'll clean that off and get it put back in. Now the wrench is too long. Try no extension. There we go. Alright, so we're in the unclocked position, so I'm glad it wasn't like super tight. I don't know if you guys can see that. To me, it looks pretty normal. It's not black and sooty. It's not white and crusty. I mean, the spark plug looks really good. Gap looks really good. I mean, everything looks like it's in really good shape. I hit it with a little bit of emery paper before I put it back in, but other than that, I think the spark plug is definitely healthy. So if we got spark, probably not the spark plug's fault. Just a couple passes with the emery cloth. I mean, I can smell gas pretty good coming out of there, so And while the spark plug's off, go ahead and do the compression test. Oh, sorry, bumped you. It's gonna be super tight. It's got a compression setting on it. Or O-ring, I thought. Kind of snug that up a little bit. I'll set our gauge up. I don't have any hangers for this gauge, so I'll just kind of have to hold it for you guys. And then we'll give it a couple pulls. And we're looking at about 30. It's supposed to be like 90, but this has got a like a compression release for when you start it. It's like a spring-loaded thing on the cam, make it easy to pull. Now that also kind of messes the compression test up, so I read on the internet. So 30 is, according to the online forums, 30 is way too low. It should be like 100 when it's cold and 90 when it's hot. I keep bumping into you guys. So we'll go ahead and get the spark plug back in. And we'll do a spark test, make sure we got that. I mean, we have some compression. It's not like we're losing everything. Make sure we put it on tighten. Snug. Snug is good enough. Alright. So plug this spark tester in. If this thing lights up when we pull it, then we know we got spark. Alright. So you guys watch that, and I'll give this a couple pulls and we don't want it to start, so I don't think it's going to do it if it ain't turned on. Switch on. I didn't see anything. I don't know if you guys saw anything, but I didn't see anything. I'm going to turn this light off. It kind of seemed like it wanted to start. Yeah, it's wanting to start, so there's spark going through it. I bet you it's just that choke cable was stuck in such a way that it wouldn't start. Okay, so we got our plug back in. It sounds ready. it sounds ready to start. So we'll turn our, tell you what, before we get it started, we're going to sit on the ground so it doesn't like wobble off this thing in case it does fire up. This thing is very heavy. And then we'll kind of play with our choke cable, get it secured. And if all it was the choke cable and they just didn't have choke on, and well, I mean, that's what we're going to go find out. Alright, she's sitting on the ground so she don't walk all over the place if we do get it started. It really sounded like it wanted to start. So we'll take our makeshift choke cable and we'll pull it all the way back. I don't know if all the way back is start or not. I'll give it a couple pulls. Switch is on. We'll try it the other way. Turn the gas on. Give it a minute to warm up, pull that choke. Yep, it was the choke cable. He just didn't know which way was choke and not, and it wouldn't want to start when it's cold, but hey, it fired right up. Works good. I'm going to secure that choke cable I built, and I'm going to empty the gas out before I load it in the truck, because man, this thing is heavy when it's got fuel in it. But yeah, she starts up, runs fine. So, you know, could have been a more elaborate video breaking into it and tearing the motor apart and whatnot, but there really wasn't, you know, anything wrong with it, which is good. Good for him, good for me. Not really that good for you guys, but you know, it is what it is. So that's going to conclude the video for today. I'm going to run this back out to his house. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, visit our Patreon page, become a member, you get videos a month early, among other things. So with Compton's Shenanigans, I'm Dave, and signing out.